Yes, I've returned with a video for you, exceeding all expectations and breaking all forms of creative barriers. I like to rank, and you like to wank. Yes, today we return to our roots. No let's play, no walkthrough. Instead, a video comprised of my own personal opinions on an interesting topic within the world of the Elder Scrolls. Hopefully this return to form will create some epic memes and showcase how cool Irish people can really be. So the crack today is mighty, and sure won't we all be enjoying it. The holds across Skyrim are filled with interesting locations, annoying humanoids and cool animals that you want to pet but the game won't let you. This cow is annoying me. Damn you Whiterun cow. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think of each location across Skyrim and then proceed to annoy the ever-living fudge-muppet out of at least half of you because you will disagree and there will be blood. Oh yes, but enough of these toying words. Leave a comment below in your favorite hole and tell me why you think your opinion is more valid than mine. Do it, gamers. Do it now or forever regret the cowardice you showed to me. At number 9, I'm putting down the old capital of Skyrim. One of the 4 oldest holds in Skyrim, Winterhold. It's so boring my tears want to cry. Winterhold is the prime showcase to Bethesda's inability to realize that they are actually capable of putting into a game before it's supposed to be released. It's a hold that was once supposed to be the capital of Skyrim, but yet something feels off. Nobody lives in it. It's basically barren, and when you do manage to go to the city in the center, it contains a fulfilling population of about 4 people. Oh my god, I want to die of boredom. Now we do of course have the interesting College of Winterhold, and there is a lot of interesting lore behind a lot of the old structures surrounding the area, locations such as Sarthal, Snowvale Sanctum or Ysgramor's Tomb, but for the few interesting locations we are given, we are also thrown even more boring locations, places I like to refer to as, oh my god, I want to die of boredom, somebody please help. There is snow everywhere, there is ice versions of animals everywhere. Who invented these bears? Oh my god, they make me want to die of boredom. There are 4 important quests that you will actually care about in the area, but otherwise you have a long list of College of Winterhold quests and College of Winterhold Radiant quests, and then there are some sunken ships along the coasts, and Azura's statue is standing around there looking mighty fine. Jesus, she's an ass like ostrich, boys, but Jesus, ignore this. But yeah, if you're trying to climb the mountains and it doesn't make you want to commit quit and save, then the rampaging wildlife will. It turns out that in Skyrim anything white is naturally more dangerous and you should keep your distance at all times. Oh my god, is this real life? Todd, you've captured the inner machinations of the broken society that torments me on a regular basis. Oh my god, I'm so bored. I want to die. Now I know you blind, but you've got to see this. Yes, my personal favourite location is nothing but a number 8. Woe is me in this painful world I live in. Whilst I have a raging boner for the nostalgia Whiterun bestows upon me, it's so bland it could be toast, and toast is good. Whiterun is the current capital of Skyrim, and everybody who knows anybody knows about the going-ons with Whiterun. Sure, the banner is a horse for feck's sake, that's pretty important, don't you think? The surrounding environment of Edoras is flowing rivers and tall mountains and grass, and a bridge, and more grass, and I guess some caves. Yeah, no, Whiterun in general, it's pretty dead. There's more lively action at the old graveyard, and we haven't even gotten there yet. There are a lot of forts in this hold, and I guess you have the throat of the world, which is pretty important. I mean, that's more satisfying in this mountain climbing simulator than climbing a mountain. You've got some standing stones and a couple of mines, but it's really quite bland. But then again, I guess it is a starting area, so it makes perfect sense. There is a ton of quests in Whiterun, but a lot of them are related to early game content, and even when you do have some in the later game, they aren't all that cool. I mean, you meet Cicero for the first time in it. You also help Isolde sell drugs. Oh, and Yara Bulgriff exists. Now, he's a pretty cool fella, to be honest, but otherwise, there's nothing. The Greybeards have never been interesting figures to me at all. Their powers are cool, but I can shout, so why would I care about some miserable old senile fuckducks? I don't, that's my point, so yeah. Also, there's Rorikstead. What even is that place? It's so far away and such a pain in my hole to get to. Sure, I'm after getting the game to have fun, not spend 40 minutes pack muling to meet a potential goat I'd wee squash with, but it's just kind of shite crack. There's not really much there, but I do love it. Falcreed is essentially miserable Whiterun, and there is simply nothing else on this planet that could help you describe it more than that. The Reach is a strange one. On one side I really enjoy its environments with sprawling rocky hills and tall towers scattered everywhere, but on the other hand the Forsworn exist, and it's not a very hospitable place for the local tourist. The Forsworn are a clan of Reachmen who are fighting an extremely long war of independence and want nothing more than to take back Markard, which if I'm not mistaken still sucked ass even hundreds of years ago. Surrounding farmlands are constantly being attacked by those bandits, and nobody is safe when they decide to take action. If it isn't simple bandits, it'll be Hargrave and powered zombies. The Forsworn are kinda terrifying. Now, unlike the previous entries, Markarth actually has some very interesting lore, like the Markarth incidents or anything involving Ulfric Stormcloak outside of this. Other than that, we don't care. Outside of the main city, the Highlands are covered in Dwemer ruins and lost treasures. You will come across many caves filled with Forsworn and old homes abandoned and occupied by the surrounding hostile wildlife. You can't pet the doggo. However, alongside these pros, it's still a very dull land and holds nothing of big interest and really only has the one enemy type scattered everywhere. So, you know, Blandy McBlanderson. The Eastmarch is another one of those 4 old holds and contains a lot of Skyrim's history. Eastmarch contains Windhelm, which next to Falcreed has to be the most miserable place you can be in. The grey colours and white snow make it a very, very boring place to visit, and outside of the Stormcloaks contains nothing of significant interest. I have it higher on the list than the others due to Ulfric Stormcloak being an extremely interesting character, and anything he's involved in I will just lick, and he is just pinned deep within the hole. But outside of Ulfric, it has the same issues as the other hold. In the game, Windhelm shows its true political structures with rampant racism and poverty-stricken sections of the city. Outside of the snow and grey, you also have another pro I'm going to give the Eastmarch, and that's the volcanically active area with gas and steam shooting out of its cracks everywhere. You will find giants and mammoths walking everywhere around this location. It's one of my favourite environments to walk around actually, but it offers nothing of large interest outside of just being empty. Visually it's very nice, but content-wise it sucks. The Eastmarch contains less locations than most of the other holds, and really it's just a bunch of mountains giving Todd Howard a feisty cracked up erection that he can show off to his workers. Ah yes, the Hjalmark, with its swamps and its Morthal. Morthal is an awful place. However, the surrounding areas to Morthal are great. Immortal vampires, conspiracies, and Miko the dog. Morthal is where it starts getting interesting in my opinion. The swamps look fantastic. It's some of my favourite places to travel around. You really feel like you're on an adventure when you are walking these swamps. Town is a town and not a city, and again contains nothing of interest, but I guess the Alva House burning quest is cool. Benor is pretty hot too. I like to marry Benor. There's a heavy theme of the undead within the Hjalmark. Lots of crypts and burial grounds scattered around the areas, and what you also have are lots of saber cats, which we all love to hate. The Hjalmark is the poorest hold of the 9, and it's obvious to see why when you see how laxy-daisy the Jarl is with taxes, and with only a single lumber mill supporting the economy, you would ask yourself how this place is even still standing. Especially with the looming threats of vampires, and now dragons are back? Yeah, no thanks. The Pale is another of the 4 old holds, just like the other 2 we mentioned before. Now I know that you're thinking, yes, Dawnstar sucks, but also it's a very important port when it comes to Skyrim's economy. The hold itself also has some of the best quests, like the Nightmare quest and the later half of the Dark Brotherhood. You also have Pieces of the Past, which is one of my personal favourite quests. I also think this side of the mountain highlights the snow and mountains and its design the best. It looks far nicer than Winterhold's ice fields and Hjalmarch's snow peaks. It's got that right amount of mid-ground between the 2, except there's no ice fields, I think. Well, no, there kind of is in Dawnstar, actually. No, there is. But there's some great snow blankets stretching out into the distance around Dawnstar and stuff. It's really nice to look at. It also features the Vigilance of Stendarr massacre, and we all know that the only Vigilance of Stendarr we enjoy are the ones that are dead. It might not be filled with lore, but it's filled with fun places to visit, and great quests to partake in. Yes, my number 2 is indeed Halffinger. This hold houses the great capital of Solitude, and no matter what your opinion on the game is, Solitude looks fantastic no matter where you're standing. It's so high up and the scale of it is awesome. Most of Skyrim's history comes from the Halffinger hold in current times and shares a lot of similarities to other holds since it's born in a feudal. It contains snow, swamps, and mountains. It's kinda great. It holds the Thalmor Embassy and a lot of other significant locations around Skyrim. Now, it is the smallest hold in the area, but there are some fantastic quests around it. The city itself has so many to partake in. Quests like the Bard's College or Sheogorath, you will end up in Solitude a lot with connections to other quests you did before, but honestly, I love this place. I can never get enough of Solitude in my journeys and would happily visit it numerous times since I never get tired of looking at how pretty it is. Of course the Rift was going to be number 1. Have you seen it? It's literally the best looking location in all of Skyrim. It's the last of the 4 old holds and contains major settlements like Shorestone and Ivarstead. Riften is the coolest of the cities in my opinion. It has a very unique design and a lot of personality. You can really feel the politics around its murky waters. The Thieves Guild is also the best questline in my opinion, so you will spend a lot of time in it. It's also got a really neat market, and I just really enjoyed the city, and don't even get me started on the surrounding areas. It's extremely high up on the mountains, and you will find yourself looking over Skyrim on cliffs constantly, and you will not be disappointed. It's a beautiful area with sprawling wildlife and rivers everywhere. It's the perfect hold for hunters to come to and serves as a great location in the mid to late game. God, I love this location. The Rift contains groves, shacks, dwarven ruins, landmarks, Nordic ruins, mines, mills, orc strongholds, forts, and much more. There is so much to see and do here. Yes, my list is correct, and yes, you have to agree with it. You have literally zero choice in the matter. Let me know what your number 1 location is. Do you agree with the list I've given you? I honestly find the holds in Skyrim to be quite different from one another, and every one of them has their own strengths and weaknesses, but exploring each one brings about a fresh experience. It can be confusing sometimes to tie down where you are, but over the course of a journey you can usually learn it. It just goes to show that the heart of an adventure is in its environments.